and on with the show.
Welcome to Conversation Corner, brought to us by Lucille's Roadhouse, Airport Road in Weatherford. And don't forget, they are open early, Monday through Saturday for breakfast. So serving breakfast right now. And joining us in the studio is Dan Day. He is running for Custer County Sheriff. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you all doing this morning?
I'm good. Saw you at the car show.
Yeah, how was that this weekend?
Man, that was the bomb. We had a blast doing that. I really enjoyed that.
I see your sign, your big sign there as we travel on Main Street, or East Main, I guess you can call it.
By the car wash, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
Pretty hard to miss.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to make a statement that I wanted to be invested in Weatherford. I mean, you know, this is a great place.
Definitely. Well, we look forward to hearing your story. You spoke in Kiwanis. I was there, and I just kind of listened to your story and your ideas and thoughts. And I know I was sharing some of it with John. And
she was. You had her motivated.
I was telling my husband about it, and I was like, wow, you know. So, yeah. Speaking of motivation, you sound like you're really motivated for the job, and love to hear it today on Conversation Corner. Today. Make a change today.
Today.
Dan Day, our guest this morning on Conversation Corner, brought to us by Lucille's Roadhouse.
The new Van and John Show is brought to you by True Vision.
This is Vanessa from the new Van and John Show. Listen, if you're ready to go out to eat, start with Lucille's. First of all, they have a whole new look you've got to see inside the steakhouse and the banquet room, so go and check that out. Second, they are doing everything possible to make sure you can go out to eat at Lucille's safely, but still be able to enjoy the atmosphere in a comfortable environment. Third, they're just dying to show off what they've done, so come and see what's new at Lucille's Roadhouse off Airport Road in Weatherford. Fourth, okay, I'm done counting, just kidding.
Hi, this is Bruce Walker. FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Most natural disasters are handled locally, but in a large-scale event, FEMA works through the state to help counties. It involves much paperwork and many steps that must be completed in the right order. Done correctly, FEMA will reimburse our county 75% of the cost to repair roads and bridges. These are federal tax dollars you've already paid. As your Custer County Commissioner, I will work hard to bring your money back home to work for you. Paid for by Friends of Bruce Walker 2020.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
As your local farmers agent in Thomas, the Gleason Agency helps find the insurance coverage that best fits your needs. From hell on your roof to hell on your car, the Gleason Agency has you covered. Servicing the Thomas area since 1986, the Gleason Agency has over 34 years of experience. Each of their agents specialize in auto and home, commercial, or life insurance. Call them for all of your insurance questions. 580-661-2979.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Hello, this is Dr. Kathy Fox.
And I'm Dr. Danny Fox.
After 35 years in dentistry, we know that many people are fearful of dental treatment because of bad experiences when they were younger. Fortunately, things have changed in dentistry.
That's right. Now we have techniques to help ease our patients' fears and better materials and equipment so that we can give the best treatment with very little discomfort.
It's time to stop letting your health go because of fear of dental treatment. Come get to know us, or better yet, ask our patients.
Call us at Fox & Fox Dentistry in Elk City at 225-6011. That's 225-6011.
Join the club at OK Bank and Trust in Clinton and Arapahoe. Come see us today and ask about our new Oklahoma checking accounts. Get your Redbud Club, Route 66 Club, Okie Dokie, or Western Plains account today. With your Redbud Club or Route 66 Club account, you'll get these featured benefits: cell phone insurance, total identity monitoring, and roadside and locksmith advantage. Ask Oklahoma Bank and Trust how to join the club today. Oklahoma Bank and Trust of Clinton and Arapahoe, your friendly bank. Member FDIC.
Are you ready to start your career in a high-demand and very rewarding field? Start with Western Technology Center. Now's the time to get your application in for either dental assisting or practical nursing. These are full-time adult courses, and class space is limited. WTC strives to provide their students with an educational experience that is innovative and industry-driven. For more info or to apply, visit online, westtech.edu, or visit the Weatherford campus for dental, and Burns Flat for practical nursing.
Hello, this is Rick Spain with Spain's Construction with something to think about. You cannot control everything that goes on in life, but you can influence it. Whether you like it or not, this truth is self-evident. This doesn't mean you roll up in a ball and stop all of your efforts. You are a part of this game. The influence of you is important. You may not be in control, but what you do and who you are can be the difference.
Locally owned and operated for over 42 years, Dex Food Mart in Thomas continues to offer customers a hometown experience. Stop into Dex Food Mart and feel the warmth of the good old days. As always, you can count on fresh produce, meat cut daily, and a wide variety of dairy, with great prices and exceptional customer service. Save this week at Dex Food Mart with their weekly specials. Treat yourself to the small town grocery experience we all miss in today's busy world. Dex Food Mart, 120 North Main, Thomas.
Coyote Country 95.5 with Van and John.
Welcome to Conversation Corner, brought to us by Loose Hills Roadhouse, Airport Road in Weatherford. We've got a political forum coming up on the 24th, brought to us by Bank of Western Oklahoma. Right here on the Coyote and on Coyote TV and on News Talk KCLI. And
nice.
And Dan Day, running for Custer County Sheriff, he's our guest this morning. Of course, he's going to be on the forum as well. We'll have the county commissioner candidates too. And, of course, we'll have the current Sheriff Tidwell as well. So that's the 24th. That's this week, right? Yeah, 2 days away.
That is, 2 days away. Today's really the 22nd already? Where did June go? Anybody know where June went?
It's gone.
Yeah. So all of a sudden you look up and
It's
we're talking,
gone.
making July 4th plans all of a sudden. Dan Day in the studio with us. Again, as Vanessa mentioned, you are running for sheriff. Now, you have law enforcement-wise, you worked for Clinton and Weatherford. Did I see that right?
Yes, Clinton and Weatherford and the sheriff's office.
That's insane. So how long have you been out here in western Oklahoma?
I've been out here in western Oklahoma, besides from some stint of education, all my life.
Really?
Yes, my whole family's been here.
Well, that's very good. Which part? Is it all kind of all around, or is it from Weatherford specifically, or Clinton, or?
Well, my family is all from Clinton, and I'm from Clinton. We grew up in Clinton, and I have a wonderful wife that's put up with me way more than she should have, but she's still here.
Awesome.
I got a loyal dog. You gotta love that.
Yes. No, that is true.
What's your dog's name?
Gosh, I was afraid you was going to ask that. It's not a huge masculine name. It's a female poodle, and her name's Layla June.
Layla June. Oh, that's so cute. So tell me, let's go back. It's 50 years ago, or whenever. How old were you when you first got into law enforcement?
I just had graduated out of high school, and I took my first dispatcher's job at Clinton PD.
Oh, wow. And now, tell me, kind of, if you can even remember back that far. Not that you can't, but, it was a long time ago. I can't remember yesterday. But walk me through your thought process of wanting to get into law enforcement and wanting to get into that, that realm.
Well, I'd had some law enforcement kinfolks in my family, and it just intrigued me, and I liked the excitement of it, having to think on your feet, to be able to meet a situation and not knowing what it's going to be or what it could be and be a part of that. It was just exciting to me. We didn't have all the cop shows on TV and things back then.
Right. I always thought
Andy Griffith, that's about it.
That was it, huh?
He had one bullet.
I've always found law enforcement to be an exciting. Growing up, I kind of had that same philosophy. But I thought it looked like it wasn't going to be the same thing every day. Every day would bring you a new adventure, and that's the kind of job that I feel.
That's exactly right.
That would be a lot of fun. And then you also got into the fire department, right? You worked for Weatherford.
I worked for the Clinton Fire Department, and I've been a kind of a multitasker all my life, and I have to stay busy. And so I've either been in law enforcement full-time and fire department part-time, and then when an opportunity came, I went full-time in the fire department, went part-time in law enforcement, and I retired as a lieutenant, as a firefighter in Clinton, and have maintained my law enforcement career part-time all of my life. And I really enjoy being invested in law enforcement and the people that we serve. I've had a lot of things that I've always done all together all my life. Mine's just a little different than a lot of people. So I've done law enforcement and fire at the same time. And I've also been a chaplain for fire, police, and EM in the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation at the same time. And I was a chaplain for 15 years, did the VA service for all of our wonderful veterans for 15 years as a volunteer. But to make a living, I've always had a business. You know, we didn't make much money back then.
I didn't understand. Yeah, that's you had 5 jobs.
So you're an electrical contractor?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Well, I enjoyed hearing your stories and your thoughts and your ideas and your vision. And one of the things that I enjoyed hearing about was giving rides to funerals. Kind of share that if you don't mind.
That was an opportunity that we started several years ago at the sheriff's office. It was hard to get our inmates sometimes to be able to go to a funeral, to their grandmother, to one of maybe their mother or their dad or a sister or an aunt or an uncle. And so they didn't have that opportunity very often to do that. So I took that on as just a project for me, because I felt like that was a need that every person, no matter whether you're incarcerated or not, ought to have the opportunity to pay your respects and be with your family of one of your loved ones at a funeral. So I took that on, and it actually turned into not just a great PR thing for the sheriff's office, but it was a ministry in itself in the sheriff's office, and there's been many blessings that's happened through that.
That is cool.
Speaking of that, and also spending your time as chaplain, this probably helped you out also, but I enjoyed the story that you shared about how sometimes even if you can't do what someone is wanting you to do, if you can just sit and listen to them, they leave feeling better than they did when they came in yelling at you. So do you remember that story?
I do, and I'll tell you what, communication and listening is the 2 greatest skills you can have, I think, in law enforcement. Because if you have to be able to communicate in so many different situations. It could be a life-threatening situation where you have to make quick, fast decisions, and you have to be able to communicate and have your mind clear. But you also have to be able to listen. And so many times in law enforcement, people are upset, and rightly so. You know, their life has been interrupted, and sometimes it's brought on by a loved one of their loved ones that's made a mistake and that's incarcerated. And this particular story, and there's been a lot of them like that, was a gentleman that was just really upset, and he was mad at law enforcement in general and felt like his son had been unjustifiably arrested for a DUI and was in jail, and he was ranting and raving and just really unhappy. And nobody seemed to want to listen to him. So I got him back off to the side and sat down with him and just listened. And I listened to all his gripes, his complaints about law enforcement and how he wasn't being treated fair, his family wasn't being treated fair, and on and on and on. And then after we'd spent quite some time just letting him get that off of his chest, I just listened. And then the real truth came out. Not only has his son been arrested, but he was having trouble in his relationship with his wife. He was about to go into a divorce. The finances were bad. They were in trouble, maybe going to lose their home. And so the end result was that we couldn't get his son out of jail. Mm-hmm. We couldn't help that. He caused that himself. But the problem that the father was having, he may not have been 100% satisfied, but he knew that somebody cared enough to take the time to listen to him and understand and get out the real problems that was in his life, not just his son being incarcerated. And that was a huge blessing for me as well.
That's an interesting approach.
No, there's no doubt about it. It kind of ties us into kind of the current times and current situations going on. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the Black Lives Matters movement that's going on, and then a lot of, I don't know if distrust is maybe not even the right word, but it just seems to be some butting heads, if you will, with law enforcement and then the general public. Kind of what's your stance on that? What do you think? What do you Is it more training that we need? Is it be better, like you mentioned, more communication? The lethal force comes into play, and there's all kinds of things that go with that. But I feel like personally, from me, is that training is lots of training. I mean, that's been going on in law enforcement for years. Has it just not been the right type of training, or what do you think?
Well, I think that training is imperative. We have to have training. It's not only is it mandated, but it's critical in law enforcement and fire service as well. We have to have training. You have to be ready to respond, and you have to do it on a moment's notice. But if you look at the overall thing, you have to have good people that are working under you, and you have to have good leadership. And I believe that in law enforcement, the training aspect is something that you learn, is something that you repeat, and hopefully that is automatic when you face a situation. But you also have to have the forethought of realizing that when you go into a situation, you can't have tunnel vision. You have to be able to look around and assess the situation. And a lot of the times we are insensitive to the things that are going around us, not because we don't care, it's just because we're not thinking about that too. And if it's a really critical incident, you have to do your job first to make sure that everyone's safe, the scene is safe. But on the flip side of that, you need to be sensitive, and you need to understand that the problems you're going into is critical for whoever you're helping as well, and it flows over into their families. So I think that we need a little bit of more training and sensitivity training to our officers and our police force and our fire department. They all do a good job, but we all are individuals, and so you have to use common sense, and you have to have a servant's heart. And when you have a servant's heart, you're able to see and listen to the problems that people have, just like this gentleman we were talking about just a few minutes ago. Mm-hmm. There's always underlying things that are in the equation, and you have to be able to separate those and deal with them on an individual basis.
What would you say as you come in? Is there something specifically you're looking at? I'm Dan Day, and I want to change this about the sheriff's office, or is it just kind of getting your people in place, or I guess what?
We have good people at the sheriff's office, and my one thing is that I want to do is put my stamp on there. I have been around that sheriff's office all my life, and I feel like leadership is extremely important. And I feel like that you can have a lot of good people that are working with you, but the people they usually don't ever rise above what your leadership is. So I want to put my perspective of leadership and servantship into the sheriff's office. And I also have a business perspective that I feel like the sheriff's office needs to be run more like a business than our finances, because they're extremely critical. Ours is the largest budget that we have in the county. Mm-hmm. And so by being able to have a business-like attitude over our budget and being on top of it daily and know exactly where we're at and being able to participate in the commissioners meeting and the excise board meeting with a positive outlook on our budget and that we've got a handle on it is something that I want to do. I really think that the sheriff's office, we need to look at different ways of serving our citizens and being more involved in our communities, being our patrolling, doing a better job of that, being out in the county. We have great law enforcement agencies in our county, in Weatherford, and Clinton, and Thomas, and Arapahoe, and Custer. We've got really good people. So the sheriff's office is a support unit for our local police departments. We don't need to come in and take over what they're doing or redo their job. We need to support them in the job that they're doing, and we need to be out in the county preventing theft, making a presence, and getting to know our citizens so that we can feel the heartbeat of what's actually going on. And you have to be out and about to do that. And I'm an out and about type person.
Right.
I like to visit. I like to learn.
Oh, we got to honk back real fast. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. People drive by honk and we honk back. That's our thing. And you got to, right?
By the way, this is the voice of Dan Day. He's running for Custer County Sheriff. Another thing I heard you say that stood out to me, which started to turn me off for a second. You said, "Oh, and by the way, I'm a neat freak," and I was like, "Well, who'd he do? He's clean, because I'm a pack rat, and so I'm intimidated by that. I wish I was a neat freak. I was jealous." But I liked your idea of if you became sheriff, one of the things that you feel like could turn some things around, just an easy, quick thing.
One of the things that I feel like can turn some things around is, everybody has their own personal space, whether it's in your unit, at your office, at your desk, and the restroom facilities that we have. Picking up your trash, making sure things are tidy. I like a clean restroom. My mother pulled my ears. My ears, you can't, they're a little flatter now, but believe me, they've been pulled out a long ways for not keeping the bathroom clean.
Yeah.
I think that's important. I think that follows over into our jail as well, and they do a good job of cleaning that. But if you look at the inmates in the jail, they have only one small piece of real estate that they can really own, and that's in their cell.
Right.
So if you make sure that everyone is keeping their cell clean and their space around them clean, it doesn't happen instantly, but pretty soon they come to own that, and they take pride in the littlest thing that they can only own in that system and in our jail is that space that they live in. As soon as they have that become instilled with that pride of cleanliness, they own that and they want to keep it clean and they're proud of it. And I think that goes a lot to help the attitude of our inmates.
Huh, that's a neat idea, definitely. Another thing that I thought was crazy, and we'll see if you get elected, we'll see if you're able to follow through with that, but I think you probably know what I'm going to mention, is that you said if you become sheriff, you're going to let everyone have your cell phone number. It's going to be out for anyone to call to get a hold of you directly.
That is something that I really feel strongly about. You're an elected official, and your constituents, all of your citizens, if they want to talk to you, they want to talk to you. There's sometimes a lot of things can be handled in a different manner, but when someone wants to talk to you, they need to talk to you directly. You're going to get calls that you're not going to like, and you're going to get a lot of calls, but that's your job. You're serving our citizens, and if they want to talk to you, you should have that open avenue for them to do so. That's how you understand what's a heartbeat in our county, is by communication with our citizens. And I want them to be able to talk to me directly. I won't be able to solve every one of their problems, but I will listen, and I'll take the time to do it. And I know there'll be late night calls. We've had them all through my life, and it'll always come sometimes at the most inappropriate time, but you still have to do that. You have to be accountable to the citizens in our county, and that open line of communication is the first step.
Dan Day for Custer County Sheriff. He is the election, by the way, is June 30th, right? That's just
it's
right around.
Coming up.
Yeah, right around the corner. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, 50 years plus law enforcement firefighter as well, and not only Clinton, Weatherford, everywhere else. But I have the ultimate question. In fact, this may be the most important question you're asked.
I'm leaning back.
You're asked here this morning. Which one's easier? Firefighter or policeman?
Boy, you did put me on the spot there.
Oh, you don't have to answer this. I love all the...
I want to tell you, I'll say this.
Yeah.
I don't know that one is easier than the other, but they're all my brothers, and I'm going to stick with them.
Dan Day, I appreciate you coming in. And if somebody wants to see more information about you,
we have a Facebook page. We have Instagram page. My cell phone's published on my Facebook page. We're easy to get a hold of. I'll be glad to visit with anybody, and I've really had a good time this morning visiting with y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, we do have a political forum where you'll be able to hear from Dan Day and also current Sheriff Tidwell, and then also the county commissioner candidates as well. So that will start at 6 o'clock on the 24th, 2 days from now. It'll be on News Talk KCLI, Coyote TV, and right here on 95.5 The Coyote, brought to us by Bank of Western Oklahoma. Conversation Corner is brought to us by Lucille's Roadhouse on the Coyote.
Western Oklahoma is Coyote Country.